Welcome back everyone, I'm K Plays Games and welcome to Fallout 4. The Fallout franchise as a whole is 25 years old this year, so I thought now would be a good time to revisit one of my favourite entries of the franchise. Controversial opinion, but you'll be hearing quite a few of those. Fallout 4 came out in 2015 and 7 years later it still has, on Steam alone, an average of around 15,000 players playing it every day. And that is a 7-year-old single-player game. So why is Fallout 4 still so popular all this time later? Well, the gameplay is great, settlement building can help you spend hundreds of hours in the game, I know I've done that myself on a few occasions, and there is a very strong modding community keeping the game fresh. This will be a modded playthrough, but don't worry, if you've watched any videos on this channel before, you will know that I don't like mods that change games too much. Even though I am using well over 200 mods on this playthrough, they're pretty much all quality of life, bug fix, audio and visual ones. So your game may not look the same or sound the same as what you're about to see, but it will play the same, and that is what is important. Now this Best Start series should work on any difficulty level, and to prove that I'll be playing this on survival, which is by far the hardest difficulty level. So what is survival mode all about? Well, you have hunger, thirst, sleep, adrenaline, infections, lots of things to worry about. Enemies hit a lot harder, but then so do you. Fast travel is disabled, so you have to walk across the map everywhere you go until you've unlocked certain things. You have much reduced carry weight, and so do your companions, and ammunition has weight, so inventory management is key. So let's just press new, start a new game in survival, and get right into this.
War. War never changes. In the year 1945, my great-great-grandfather, serving in the army, wondered when he'd get to go home to his wife and the son he'd never seen. He got his wish when the US ended World War II by dropping atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The world awaited Armageddon. Instead, something miraculous happened. We began to use atomic energy not as a weapon, but as a nearly limitless source of power. People enjoyed luxuries once the realm of science fiction. Domestic robots, fusion-powered cars, portable computers. But then, in the 21st century, people awoke from the American dream. Years of consumption led to shortages of every major resource. The entire world unraveled. Peace became a distant memory. It is now the year 2077. We stand on the brink of total war. And I am afraid. For myself, for my wife, for my infant son. Because if my time in the army taught me one thing, it's that war never changes. War Honor never changes.
You're gonna knock him dead at the Veterans Hall tonight, hun.
You think?
Absolutely. Now get ready and stop hogging the mirror.
Right.
Right, the first thing we have to do is choose which character we want to play as. You can play as the male or the female character. There are mechanical differences between the two, the main one being one of the perks, which is what skills are called in Fallout 4, gives you extra damage and bonus speech check chance against people of the opposite sex, and because most of the people we'll be encountering in this game are male, there is a slight advantage to be had in playing as the female character.
Hey, my turn, big guy.
So that is the first choice I would recommend. Next up is choose your name and attributes. Name is easy. Let's go for a little bit of alliteration. Now, these are your attributes. As you see, when you look at each one, it tells you what they do. So intelligence will increase your XP gain, charisma helps you persuade people the higher it goes, and endurance increases your health. But also what the game doesn't tell you is that each level of these attributes unlocks perks. There are 10 perks associated with each attribute, and each perk is unlocked at a certain point. Now, these attributes are not fixed. Every time you level up in the game, you're provided with 1 point, which you can either put into increasing one of these attributes by 1, or put it into any perk. So for this playthrough and this specific character build, I want to unlock certain perks as early as possible, which means opening them right now. So what I want is Strength 6, Perception 4, Endurance 1. Now, I'm leaving endurance at 1, even though this is survival mode and everything hits really, really hard. Even if I was to put all 10 points of endurance, things would still pretty much kill me in 1, 2, or maybe, if I'm lucky, 3 hits. So, it doesn't really matter. I'd rather spend the points elsewhere. Avoiding being hit is the main aspect of survival mode. Charisma, we want 6. Intelligence 3, Agility 3, and Luck 5. These are the stats we're going with. I'm just going to skip what's next because there's a whole bit in 2077 before nuclear war. Well, the morning of the nuclear war. It's all on rails. There's nothing much to teach you. And then there's a little short sequence after the war when we wake up 210 years later, having been cryogenically frozen. And again, that's very much on rails. No secrets to tell you about, so we'll be skipping past all that. And here we are, out of our nuclear bunker vault, where we've been asleep for 210 years, and into the post-nuclear wasteland. And we've automatically started a quest, and it's telling us to go home. On the bottom of the screen, you'll see a compass. This little square with 84 in it tells us that we're 84 yards away from our quest objective, and it's in that direction, which is indeed our house there, which is where we used to live. Controls: WSAD to move, space jumps, control puts you in crouch, and when you're in crouch mode, you are in sneak mode, which is why this hidden thing with 2 brackets has popped up. These brackets will move closer to the word hidden, and then it will change to detected, and then they will turn red and say caution, then it will turn red again and say danger. So that's the 4 states: hidden, detected, caution, and danger. If you tap Q or hold Q down, you will enter the Vault-Tec Assisted Targeting System, or VATS for short. If there's a valid target within line of sight and range, time will slow down and you'll be able to pick individual parts of that target to aim at. First thing we've got to do is to loot absolutely everything we can, because every single bit of loot has a use. You can turn that telephone into something more useful at a settlement. So at the start of the game, you want to be a magpie and pick up absolutely everything you can. We'll just pick up this food and all this stuff here. All this, yeah, some ammunition. Left shift key sprints, and as we were sprinting, you'll notice on the bottom right hand corner of your screen this AP bar going up and down. These are your action points, which are used and spent either to sprint or to target things in the VATS system. Okay, I'm back into town. Here we got some XP for discovering this location. We'll just have a look in here. Ideally, we'll be looting absolutely everything in this town. And this is the first person we need to speak to, is our robot butler.
As I live and breathe. Oh, it's really you.
Codsworth, you're still here. So, other people could still be alive too.
Well, of course I'm still here. Surely you don't think a little radiation could deter the pride of General Atomics International? But you seem the worse for wear. Best not let the hubby see you in that state, huh? Where is Sir, by the way?
During the on-rails bit that we skipped, our partner was killed and our infant son was kidnapped.
He's in a better place.
Oh, Mum, these things you're saying, these terrible things, I believe you need a distraction. Yes, a distraction to calm this dire mood. It's been ages since we've had a proper family activity. Checkers, or perhaps charades. Oh, Sean does so love that game. Is the lad with you?
Sean's been kidnapped. I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna get my baby back.
It's worse than I thought. You're suffering from hunger-induced paranoia. Not eating properly for 200 years will do that, I'm afraid.
200 years? What? Are you...
A bit over 210, actually, Mum. Give or take a little for the Earth's rotation and some minor dings to the old chronometer. That means you're 2 centuries late for dinner. Perhaps I can whip you up a snack. You must be famished.
Okay, what we have here marked in yellow is a speech check. They come in 3 flavours, yellow, orange and red, with each increasing colour being more difficult to pass. And it's your charisma stat which determines whether or not you pass it. It's a dice roll, but if you can get charisma 11 you will pass absolutely any check in the game. So let's just have a go at this one. See what we can do with charisma 6.
Codsworth, you're acting a little weird. What's wrong?
Mum, it's been just horrible. 2 centuries with no one to talk to, no one to serve. I spent the first 10 years trying to keep the floors waxed, but nothing gets out nuclear fallout from vinyl wood. Nothing. And don't get me started about the futility of dusting a collapsed house. And the car, how do you polish rust?
Stay with me, pal. Focus.
I'm afraid I don't know anything, Mum. The bombs came and all of you left in such a hurry. I thought for certain you and your family were dead. I did find this holotape. I believe Sir was going to present it to you as a surprise. But then, well, everything happened.
Thank you, Codsworth.
You're welcome. Now, enough feeling sorry for myself. Shall we search the neighborhood together? Sir and young Sean may turn up yet.
All right. Lead the way.
Proud to serve, Mum.
And the robot butler is going to go to this end of town, go in all the houses, looking for our dead husband and stolen son, but he's going to kill some enemies for us. He's not going to do this end of town, we'll clear that out ourselves. But that's him killing things. We're going to ignore that. We're going to come into this, which is our house, and we're going to pick up this magazine.
Yes.
And what these magazines do, these give you permanent perks. So even if we were to sell the magazine or otherwise remove it from our inventory, we would still keep the bonus. There are a lot of these magazines to find spread all over the game. So as I said, we're just going to pick up everything we can because everything has a use. One of the mods I have tells you what things are broken down into. So this small baby bottle can be broken down into glass and rubber. Have a look in the fridge. Although empty bottles in survival mode have a much more important use. So for the moment we'll just loot everything, have a look in the washer and dryer. The loot you find in this starting town is random, so you're never quite sure what you're going to find. This book is not random, this is always here. This is a little bit like the magazine we found before, but this one is special. This one lets you permanently increase one of your attributes by 1, and we're going to do that with charisma. Right, that's this house almost completely looted apart from that coffee cup and this toaster. Bottle caps are the currency, or one of the currencies used in the game. It's the main currency. You use them to buy everything. There's a battery there, and some of that, and this, and that. These are workbenches which we can use to upgrade our weapons and armour and power armour. We'll be talking about power armour later. This is the main workbench which controls the whole settlement. We can't use it yet because we haven't cleared out all the enemies. Well, let's see what Codsworth was killing in here. Ah, looks like he was killing this, a giant boat fly. Very low level enemies, but you know, letting him kill them all for us was not the worst idea. This is after all survival mode, and these things definitely do have the power to kill us because we're just level 1 at the moment. This is a lock safe. There's a mini game to open these. If you've played Bethesda games before, like Skyrim, you'll know exactly how this works. Use your mouse or one of your control sticks to move your bobby pin and the other one to spin the lock. If everything is lined up properly, the lock will open. We've only got one bobby pin, so we've only got one chance to do this. Bobby pins can break and do break randomly. Alright, we did it.
Got it.
And we get experience for this and a whole lot of random junk loot. So at the minute, we'll just take it all. There's our experience gain, jolly good. And we keep the bobby pin, which is also very nice. Right, on to the next house. More stuff here. There's a little box full of caps, 19 of them, not bad. And this and this and that and that. Nothing in here. How about in here? Anything in this? No. Anything in that? Yes, that'll do. Nothing in there. Oh, ammo box. Nice. Oh, very little in this place. And just one more house. These two houses here have been completely demolished by the nuclear war or have fallen down. Now we got some bottle caps out of that mailbox. That's something at least. Right, let's talk to Codsworth because he's finished his little patrol of this end of town. Come here, you.
Miss
Codsworth.
Betty, Sir and young Sean, they aren't here.
Thanks for trying, Codsworth.
You can't give up, Mum. What about the city? Concord is nearby, and, well, the people there have only shot at me a few times.
Thanks for your help, Codsworth.
Good luck, Mum. You'll find young Sean. I know you will.
Right, let's just loot this house and then we'll get down the other end of town and clear that out. There is another 10mm pistol here. Not that you need multiples of the same weapon. Now, you can have multiples of the same weapon if you want, because you can upgrade them in different ways to fulfill different roles. But the 10mm is not all that upgradable, to be honest. 3 more lobby pins, that's pretty damn good. Because there's another safe in the floor right here. Oh, broke a bobby pin, oh well. There we are. And again, we'll just take everything at the minute.
There must be someone who can help you in Concord.
Right, down to the other end of town. Before we go to the other end of town, I'm just going to offload some of our loot in here so we don't become over encumbered. I don't think we need all these guns. I'm not really going to use melee in this build. I don't want to be close enough to anything to get into melee. We'll keep the 38 pipe pistol because it's a decent backup in case you run out of ammo of the 10mm. Get rid of these Molotov cocktails. They're more a danger to us than anything else. We will keep the wedding ring because it has no weight and adds 1 to our charisma. And we'll keep whichever bit of clothing gives us 2 charisma and weighs the least, which is going to be the blue dress. So if we put on the blue dress and the wedding ring, we'll have +3 to our charisma, which is pretty good. We'll keep all the drugs and Nuka-Cola. It all has a use. I'll get rid of this stuff just now. And this. And this is all the junk. This is junk. It's really the miscellaneous stuff. All full of really good stuff. Right, that's us emptied out. Let's go and clear out the other end of town. There are some enemies down this end of town, but they're no more dangerous than the things that Codsworth was killing. There are no enemies in this house, which is why I brazenly walked in without being in sneak mode. Pretty much all the time in survival, you want to be in sneak mode. So you can see things before they see you, and you can decide whether or not you want to risk the confrontation. Yes, there's a lot of loot in this place this time round. Nothing else. Okay, now we need to be in sneak mode. You do move slightly slower in sneak mode, but it's not that bad. As you'll see, the brackets around the word hidden are twitching, because there are indeed enemies, and that is one on that wall right there. That is a giant cockroach. So if we're lucky, we'll line it up and kill it in a single shot. Good. And as it said at the top left hand corner, we got double damage because we were in sneak mode and undetected when we hit it. There will be another one which spawns underneath that wastebasket. There it is. And this has seen us, but we killed it with a single shot. We did not get sneak attack that time because it had seen us. We were right on the verge of being in danger mode. I think we were still in caution when we killed it. Okay, that's it for this. That's it for this house. We can stand back up and loot it. Another locked suitcase. You should really pick any lock you can. They're not difficult.
Nice.
And you will get experience, and experience is everything. Experience means levels, and levels means better performance all round. I believe this house is also empty of bad guys. Oops. Let's just grab this kitchen scale, investigate everything else. There's yet another 10mm pistol. That's the third one of these we found. Anything in the dryer? No. How about in here? Yeah, another dress. Some drugs. Some coke. Okay, what we have here is another locked safe, but on top of it, not very well hidden, is a bomb and a trigger which will set off that bomb. You don't need any skills or mini games to disarm things like that. If you can see them and get close enough, you can just press the use key and disarm them. Same with the bomb. There we are. We get some resources and we also got some experience. So let's pick this lock as well. There we go.
That's it.
Lots more stuff. There's also a mini game to open these terminals, so I'll take you through that. The way this works is that you click a word and it will tell you which letters or how many letters are correct and in the correct position. So likenesses 1 means that either M, I, N or D is correct and in the correct position. Then you use your brain and you work out which word is the correct word from the information you've done there. But there is something the game does not tell you about. If you scan the grid and you find matching pairs of brackets, like this bracket and this bracket are matching, and click that, it does a number of things. It can either give you more attempts because you start off with 4, or it will remove incorrect words, so it's removed a word from here. So we can scan the whole grid and find matching sets of brackets and see how many words we can remove, which makes the game considerably easier. Oh, quite a few brackets in this grid. I'm liking that. Okay, so M, I, N and D. That's not M, I, N, D. That could be it. Because the D...
I'm in.
It was it. Quite often when you read entries in these terminals, they'll give you quests or map markers or clues or let you take control of turrets and spotlights and open doors. That one just does nothing. It's essentially a tutorial. Okay, back into sleep mode, because just get the weapon out as well. In this little bit of brushwood here will be another rad roach. Dead. Nice. And one more enemy in town, and it spawns under the welcome mat of this house right here. Some ammunition here. There it is, and that is this town clear, so we can now use the workbench. But before we do that, we're just going to quickly have a look for some loot. Bottle, that's good. Okay, another safe, but this one is too difficult for us to open.
No way I could pick this.
There is a way to open it because it's within the boundary of the settlement. When I activate the workbench, I can come back here and scrap this safe, and all the contents will be automatically stored in the workbench for us. I mean, we do miss out on gaining the experience from picking the lock, but we at least get all the stuff. There's always frag grenades in this trash can. Frag grenades are rather overpowered at the start of the game. Now we need to talk about cars. Cars with paint still on them will explode if hit, so don't stand too close to them. And most cars are physics objects, and Bethesda Physics are very strange. Because these cars are rigid solid objects and the ground they're resting on is not always perfectly flat, sometimes they'll start to tremble. And as they tremble, they pick up velocity. And if you just brush up against it, that velocity can be enough to kill you instantly. So always give cars a wide berth. It's not the kind of tip I wanted to give you in this playthrough, but it's the tip you're getting. Bethesda Physics will be far more dangerous to you than any enemy in this game. I promise you that. Right, let's get back over here to the workbench. So we press E to search, which takes control of the workbench. And there we are, we're in workbench mode. And everything highlighted in yellow and green can be scrapped, and scrapping it will give us resources. So let's have a look at this house. It's completely demolished, so we'll press R to scrap it. And as it says, we get given all these resources which are put straight into the workbench. Boom. And then if we go to this ruined car and scrap that, we'll get some steel. And if we have a look at this dead tree, we'll get some wood. And now what we need to do is to go to every ruined house, and every ruined car, and every mailbox, and every tree, and every tyre, and then go into every house and demolish all the furniture, because we need resources to build our own things. This is a bit of a grind, but if you want the best start, you're going to have to do it. This is going to take me about 20 minutes in real time. And by the time I'm done, it'll probably be nightfall. So, I'll see you in 20 minutes. I'm going to edit this for your benefit. I'm going to have to endure the grind. So, I'll see you in about 20 minutes. Alrighty then, people. Some time has passed. It is deepest, darkest night. I'm a little older. I'm a little wiser. The town has been entirely scrapped. Even went into all the backyards, took down all the trees. And we have an awful lot of resources stored in the workbench. So we'll go and we'll click transfer and have a look in the resources tab. So you've got 500 concrete, 400 fertilizer, nearly 3,000 wood, 1,500 steel. What are we going to do with all this? What was the whole point of that terrible, terrible grind? Well, it's so we can build things of our own. If we look on the bottom right hand corner of the screen, the AP bar has a big red chunk missing from it. That is because, as we can see in the icons below that, we are tired and hungry and thirsty. We can solve thirst by building water fountains and other water purification things, so I'll do that. Go into workshop. If you go to furniture and miscellaneous, if you have the Vault Tech Calling DLC, then you will have an option eventually to build a water fountain. There's people in there. If you don't, you can go into resources, water, and put a water pump down. They both operate in much the same way. The water pump actually provides 3 water resource to the settlement itself. What you can do, you just press A and you drink, and then you just keep drinking until the icon on the bottom right hand corner of your screen goes away. There we go. Right. And something else you can do is take all the empty bottles out of the workbench, and you can fill them up with purified water to take with you. This will stop you becoming thirsty on the road, and purified water also heals you over time. So it's a very important resource to have. So we'll just fill all the empty bottles we've got here. It is quicker to fill them up at the water fountain by tapping R. If you fill them at the water pump, you press R once and it automatically fills them very slowly. Next thing we need to take care of is hunger. Now, there is something down the other end of town which I have not picked up yet. It's all the way down here. This campfire looking thing here. This is indeed a cooking workbench. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to re-enter build mode by holding V. I'm just going to pick it up and I'm going to move it all the way back up here so all of our workbenches are in the same place. I'll just whack that right there. There is one more workbench which is missing. You have weapons, armor, power armor, cooking, and chemistry, but chemistry seems to be missing. But don't worry, I know where to find one. Down the bottom end of town, just behind this house right here, is a chemistry station. I think someone was maybe making moonshine in their backyard. Naughty, naughty, but it is back here. And there it is. Again, I'll just pick this up, take it back home. All the different workstations are used to do different things, as you can imagine. but it's good to have them all in one place so you don't have to run around town every single time you want to make use of one. The armour workbench was here, but I've moved it up there so weapons and armour are next to each other. I'll just put chemistry like here. Right, we're hungry, we need to cook. So we shall press E and enter the cooking station menu. These are all the things you can build. Most of them are greyed out because you've hardly got anything. We do, however, have some bloatfly meat. The numbers on the right hand side of the screen, when it says bloatfly meat 3 out of 2, the 3 is how much we have and the 2 is how many are needed for that recipe. So we can build 1 baked bloatfly. If we're lucky we'll have enough, yep, we've got enough radroach meat to make 1 grilled radroach. And as you see, we got some experience points for cooking, so cooking is good, A, because it gives you non-irradiated food, and it's good for XP. So if we go to inventory and aid and food, we can then left click to eat these, and we feel better, but we're still peckish, so we're going to have to eat something else. And while we're here, we'll just offload everything we don't need. I'm going to keep 1 frag grenade as a backup because it does 151 area of effect damage, which is slightly more than the 18 that our pistol does. As I said before, we're going to keep the blue dress because it's the lightest thing that gives us +2 charisma. Actually no, the checkered shirt and slacks seems to be weight 1 and charisma 2, so goodbye blue dress, hello checkered shirt and slacks. We did find some more drugs and Nuka-Cola in the town. As we see, Nuka-Cola gives you 0.2 hit points a second for 1 minute 40 seconds, so it heals you. And caffeinates means that it offsets the tiredness effect. But we're not going to do that now, because we're actually going to make a bed and sleep properly. Okay, we can get rid of the meat that we don't have enough of to make any more grilled stuff. Now what we have here is food from before the war, and it's all irradiated. That's why it has a radiation symbol. But we are going to have to eat a couple. So we'll just go into radiated food. Pork and beans. Yum. Okay, now we're properly fed. We've regained some of our AP, but we've taken some radiation damage, which is what you see as this red sliver of missing health in the hit point bar in the bottom left. Radiation damage reduces your maximum hit points. Certain perks also make it do other things. It can be healed with drugs or by visiting a doctor. Other than that, it's permanent. So the reason I wanted to be fully fed and watered before we went to sleep is in case we got an infection. Because when you sleep, the game rolls a dice, and being hungry or thirsty is an adverse modifier to that dice roll. And sometimes you can wake up infected, so it's better not to sleep if you're hungry or thirsty. So that's why we did that. Right, let's continue dropping stuff off and picking stuff up. Purified water will be periodically added to the workbench by this water pump, because every time your settlement's water stat, as we see at the top, is 3, is more than the number of people, which is 0, it will put any excess in the workbench. So we can come back here every now and then and get free purified water. This stuff here, bottle caps is money, cigar box is worth money, silver locket's worth money, so we'll take that with us. This has no use, so we'll just drop it. These have no weight, so we'll leave them here. Even though we don't have a shotgun, we are going to take the ammo because it can be sold. Again, our carry weight, we're carrying 28 pounds. Maximum carry weight is 125. We have 75 bottle caps, which isn't too bad. Right, now we're going to have to build a bed and sleep. So we'll go to furniture, beds, and we'll actually build it in our house. I believe this bed is a modded bed, but it works the same as all the other beds. Just wait till it goes green. Come on. And place it down. And as you see, we got some experience for doing that, because you are awarded experience points for building things in towns. That was the whole point. We got all these thousands of resources so we can build things and get lots of experience from it. Now, we could spend a very long time building walls and making these into big buildings and big towers full of lots of furniture and gorgeous decoration, and we would get an awful lot of XP from doing that. And later on in the playthrough, I probably will do that. If you've seen my Sanctuary tour, you'll know what can be done in the Sanctuary. But I'm not going to do that. We're going to build something that's very cheap and fast and a little bit controversial. But we'll be doing that in the morning. So, we want to sleep. And talking about sleep, there are 3 things that let you sleep. There are sleeping bags, which only let you sleep for a maximum of 3 hours. There are mattresses, which only let you sleep for a maximum of 5 hours. And there are beds, which let you sleep as long as you want. And that's a good thing, because if you sleep more than 7 hours, you get a bonus called Well Rested. And that is our Well Rested bonus. That icon on the bottom and the status effect in the top left said we feel well rested. And we're also hungry and thirsty because I slept for 24 hours. I mean, I could have just slept for 7 and then got up around midday, but then it would be dark really soon. Didn't want to do that. So we're thirsty, so we'll take a little drink and we'll eat a little bit more irradiated food. I think some cram will probably be enough to fill us up. We are only peckish after all. Yep, properly fed. Okay, let's build some stuff. First thing I'm going to do is go to structures, wood, walls, small, and I'm going to build 1 wall there, and we got some experience, and I'm going to build a 1 wall there, and we got some experience. But we're not just going to build walls. The easiest thing to build is in furniture, shelves. It's wooden and steel shelves. As we see on the top right, this 1456 number in brackets is how many of these we can build with the resources at hand. Built with wood, 2,912 is how much wood we have left in the workbench, and 2 is how much each shelf takes. So divide that by 2 and you get 1456. And the best thing about shelves is that they can be placed directly on the top of each other. They inhabit the same physical space. So we don't have to build a whole row of walls or fence posts or anything. We can just stand here and spam the build button until we level up. This won't take long to get to level 2. There we go. Right, we're going to stop shelf spamming just now, and we're going to spend a perk point. If you press tab, it brings up your wrist-mounted personal computer, which gives you all the data and inventory management stuff, and more importantly, it lets you level up. So let's press T and level up. And this is the level up screen. See, these are the attributes we picked along the top. See, endurance 1 means only this first skill in the tree has been unlocked and is available. And strength 6 means we can come all the way down to this one, but the one we're going to do is luck, and it's the 5th one in the luck tree. It's called Idiot Savant. You randomly receive 3 times experience from any action, and the lower your intelligence, the greater the chance. So our intelligence is 3, so this is going to trigger roughly 9% of the time. So 9% of the time from doing any action, we're going to get 3 times experience from it. So we're going to pick that right now. And then, before we go back to spamming 1400 shelves, you will notice that it said the lower our intelligence, the better this is. And luckily I found 1 beer in town. This lowers our intelligence by 1 for 3 minutes. So I'm gonna drink that. Gonna go right back into workshop mode. Gonna get the shelves back out, and we're gonna spam as many shelves as we can. Here we go.
There we go. Yes.
One thing I didn't mention is that Well Rested gives you plus 10% XP gain for 8 in-game hours, and each in-game hour is 3 minutes, so for the next 24 minutes we've got plus 10% XP. That icon and the silly noises is Idiot Savant triggering. Alright, we've finally run out of wood. We have built all the wooden shelves, and if we have a look in a personal computer and level up screen, we are level 9 and we have 7 perk points to spend, but we're not going to spend them quite yet. What we can do, we can look in data and then stats in general and scroll down until we see this Bright Ideas stat, and Bright Ideas is how many times Idiot Savant triggered. So we built 1400 shelves. bright ideas triggered 135 times, so 135 times we got triple experience for building 135 of these shelves. Okay, now would be a good time to talk about the difference between Idiot Savant and Intelligence Attribute. As we know, we just built 1,433 wooden shelves, and Idiot Savant triggered 135 times. So let's do some mathematics, shall we, and contrast and compare. So, 135 shelves gave us 3 times their normal experience, which is a nominal value of 405, and the rest of the shelves, which is 1,298, gave us their normal amount of experience. Now this is not 1, because we do have intelligence level 3, and intelligence provides 3% per level, so it's multiplying 1,298 by 1.09, which is adding 9% on, and that gives us 1,415 nominal experience. Add these two totals together to get 1,820. So what does this mean? Well, if we divide it by the total number of shelves we built, we will work out how much experience per shelf. So we'll divide 1820 by 1433, and we get 1.27 experience per shelf. Now, what is the equivalent to that in terms of intelligence? Well, as we know, each level of intelligence gives us 0.03. So we divide 27 by 3, and it gives us the result of 9. So to equal the amount of experience we just got from Idiot Savant 1, we would need to have Intelligence 9. Now, could we have Intelligence 9 at this point? Well, yes we could. Way back at the start of character creation, we put 4 points into luck to bring it down to luck 5, so we could actually do Idiot Savant. So let's pretend that we didn't put them in luck, and we put them in intelligence instead. Our intelligence is 3 at the minute. 3 plus 4 is 7. And if we use the Your Special book in the bedroom that we use to enhance charisma, if we instead use that to enhance intelligence, intelligence would be 8. And then, of course, we spent 1 skill point on Idiot Savant itself, so we can spend that skill point instead on increasing intelligence to 9. But this is only equaling what we've just done. So we know if we did all these things to bump intelligence all the way up to 9, we would only be getting the same amount of experience as we have for Idiot Savant. Now, of course, another thing is that as soon as we hit level 11, we're going to get Idiot Savant rank 2, and Idiot Savant rank 2 multiplies the bonus experience by 5 instead of 3. So let's say, for instance, I scrapped a couple more settlements and brought all the wood back here, and we built another 1,433 wooden shelves, and again we got another 135 bright ideas if everything worked out the same. How does that change things? Well, if we do the same operations again, so 135 shelves times 5 times experience is 675, and then the remaining 1,298 would get 1.09 because our intelligence would still be 3, which is 1,415 again. Add that together, we get 2,090, then divide that by the total number of shelves to get a nominal experience per shelf of 1.45. And 0.45 divided by 3 is 15, so we would need intelligence 15 to match our performance. You can do that by finding armor and clothing which boosts your intelligence permanently. I mean, yes, there's probably drugs that can do it as well, but you would need to take them all the time. So it is possible to get up to intelligence 15. And of course, you would need intelligence 16 to actually gain more experience than you would from having Idiot Savant rank 2 and intelligence 3. Now, that's not really practical. And another thing we have to think about is that all this time we've been talking about building 1,433 wooden shelves in a settlement, but that is by no means the only way of getting experience in this game, and Idiot Savant can trigger on anything. Finding locations, killing enemies, and especially handing in quests. If you have Idiot Savant rank 2 and generate 5 times the regular amount of experience, and it triggers when you hand in a quest, you can get thousands of experience and almost go up like an entire level. I'm sure that will happen at some point during this playthrough. And that means that essentially intelligence will never be able to catch up. If we had intelligence 15 and we're just building shelves, then it would work out mathematically the same as having Idiot Savant 2 and intelligence 3. But then if a quest hand in triggers Idiot Savant, intelligence 15 lags way behind and it will never be able to catch up. So we've just proven it mathematically and also contextually that Idiot Savant is always better than having intelligence. Next up, we're going to face the other wall that we built. We're going to go back into the shelves menu and we're going to use up all the steel in exactly the same way. This is not going to take anywhere near as long. There's only 760 shelves to build. I'll see you when that's been done.
Call me Charmer.
Okay, I have paused shelf building after 400 shelves because we hit level 11, and level 11 means something very cool. So out of build mode, back into the level up screen. Level 11 unlocks the next level of Idiot Savant, and that increases the XP gain from 3 times XP per any action to 5 times XP per any action. So we're going to take that right now. And then we're going to stop all this shelf building malarkey for the moment, and we're going to go over to this blue house over here. Okay, let's go and investigate this house. If you go round the back of the house, you see there is this tree, and if you go up this tree, if I can line myself up correctly, you can get on the roof, and on the roof is this duffel bag which always has a weapon in it. Sometimes it's a rifle, in this case it's just another pistol, but we'll take it all because everything's good at this start of the game. And something else that's here in this house is this root cellar, so let's get in here. And this has lots of random loot like aluminium, steel, and some irradiated food, and some radaway and a mine, some cigarettes and purified water, and more beers to make us more stupid. I mean, there's 3 more beers here, so that'll give us a few minutes of being stupid for Idiot Savant. And there's some money and some purified water. And the most important thing that's here are 3 gold bars. 1 there and 2 on the floor. These are worth about 450 caps each. They are extremely good early game. In fact, you're going to struggle to find traders that have enough money to buy them from you. That's how good they are. And what else is here is a safe. But again, this is...
Don't think I can pick this.
too difficult for us to pick. But we've got lots of level up perk points waiting for us. Let's go and spend one. We're going to spend it in here. Perception 4, locksmith 1 lets us pick advanced locks. Bam, done. Now we can pick this lock. Unless I break all 4 bobby pins. Why did I say that? Why did I say that? Okay, we broke 1. That's not too bad. And again, more generic random loot. That's all there is in this place. All. I mean, 3 gold bars is a lot, and some more random loot, and the safe full of random loot. It's a nice little place. Now we can leave. And now we have the advanced lockpicking skill. We can go all the way down the other end of town to the house that had the lock safe, and we can pick it. Because I did not scrap it, because I wanted a chance to get the experience from it. I mean, there is a chance to get 5 times the experience by opening this safe, and then we'll scrap it to get some resources from it. Might as well double up, every little helps. Uh-oh, only 2 bobby pins left. There we go.
Sweet.
Okay, and then I'll just hold V to enter workshop mode. 2 screws, 2 steel, right, done. Okay, now I think we can actually leave the starting town. But not for long, we're coming right back. Just over the bridge here. There's usually a dead person and a dead dog here. I have a mod that removes them because they're unsightly, but you can get some loot from them if they're there for you. But what is still here for me is at the base of the statue is another duffel bag. And this time we have got a rifle, a .308 bolt action rifle. That is rather nice, so we're taking that with us. And here's a red rocket truck stop fueling station. We will go in there, but not quite yet. We are going up on that little shoulder there. Okay, we're out in the open world, so we should be in sneak mode. Brackets are twitching. There is a dog that you can speak to. Don't speak to the dog. If you speak to the dog right now, he will spawn a lot of enemies. So we don't want to deal with them just yet. So it is the dog that's detecting us. I wish he would run away so we can go back to being hidden. There we go. As I said, we want to get up here. There are more enemies up here, so we do need to be careful. That's why I'm kind of hugging this little ridge line. This is what we're looking for. This little loot box here. Some good stuff. And the box of ammo. Lovely. Right, now we can go to the truck stop. This truck stop is another settlement, but it's much smaller than the town. That is an entire town. This is literally just this one building and this tiny little bit of surrounding land. There is some loot to be had here, so we'll just take it all. There's another stim pack there. And lots more loot. We'll just loot absolutely everything. At this stage of the game we need to be a magpie. Is there anything in this ethatronic? No, there's not. That's fine. Take this and that. And all this. And all this. And some money in the cash register. And some cigarettes here. Cigarettes are worth selling. And some more stuff in here. And this brush. And lots more stuff here, and caps, and stuff in here. This terminal just tells you that the people that were running this fueling station were actually smuggling, and that there's a cave underneath it. Don't worry, we'll be going there pretty soon. Or soon enough, I should say. More loot here. We'll just grab all this from here. And this is the settlement workbench. You can actually use the workbench without having to clear out any enemies, so we're going to do that. And we are going to scrap this entire place. Not the whole building, just everything around it. So I'll see you when that's been done, because that's another grind. It's not going to take very long. It's not a very big settlement. Alrighty, that is one completely cleared out settlement. All the vehicles are gone, all the trees are gone, all the interior stuff is gone. This place does have all 5 workbenches. 6 if you count the settlement workbench itself. Weapons, armour, power armour, chemistry, cooking one outside. So what are we going to build here? Nothing. That's what. We are going to press take all. We're going to become seriously over encumbered, and we're going to take it all the way back to the original settlement and store it all there. Now you will notice, because we're over encumbered, we're moving extremely slowly, and in survival mode we're going to be taking periodic damage as well. If you take too much periodic damage, you will end up crippling your legs, which will make you move even slower. So I shall see you when we get home. We'll probably lose about 1/3 of our health, but we'll get there. Alright, we have made it back home. Not safe and sound. We lost about 1/4 of our health. It wasn't too bad. Just offload everything. There we go. That's better. Don't think we need 3 38 pike pistols. There's a 10mm auto pistol. This is automatic, so that will spray a lot of ammunition around. Don't think we need that. We will keep this bolt action rifle. It's pretty good as a long range backup. As I said, we have barely any carry weight, and ammo takes weight, so we really only want to have 3 or maybe 4 weapons maximum when you're playing hard mode, when you're playing survival mode. Hard hat is an armoured helmet. It does give us 4 physical damage resistance, but I'm going to find something that's better than that very soon, so we're not going to take it with us. We're going to keep all the drugs and cola and stuff with us. We're going to offload all the irradiated food that we found. Here we are. We have 3 more purified water waiting for us here, which has been passively generated. This stuff doesn't weigh anything. We'll keep all this because we can sell it. Any more empty bottles? Why yes, we have 8 empty bottles. So let's go over to the water pump and fill the bottles. And let's just drink from the fountain to heal ourselves. And we were thirsty anyway. As we see our health is going up very quickly, we'll just keep tapping the drink key until our health is back up as high as it can go. Which is about there. Nice. I don't think we picked up anything else that we can cook. No, we didn't. Next thing we're going to have to take care of is our hunger. Because if we go to our personal computer and stats, status and tap Q to show effects. So you see, because we've gone beyond peckish, we've gone to hungry, we're currently experiencing -1 to our charisma and -2 to our endurance. We can check that. Well, our endurance can't go any lower than 1, but our charisma has gone down. So that's another reason you need to take care of your hunger. It's not just an AP thing, it is actually a physical thing. So let's eat some. We're going to have to eat quite a lot. We'll have pork and beans, Salisbury steak, blanco mac and cheese, and some cakes to finish off. So radiated food. Yep, took all 4 of these and we took some more radiation damage. Now, we are going to go back to spamming shelves, but we're going to do that in the morning so we get the well rested bonus, and we're going to have a beer first thing in the morning because that's how we roll in the post-apocalyptic landscape. So we'll sleep for, say, 12 hours and do this first thing in the morning. Alright, well rested bonus, and we woke up without infection because we were a good boy and we ate and drank before we went to bed. So we shall go into our computer, into aid, into drinks. Cool, we've got 3 beers, so we've got 9 minutes of stupid. Right, back into the build menu, furniture, shelves. We're not going to be building 1400 because we don't have that much more, only 658 this time. And line them up with the previous shelves, and here we go. Alright, shelf spam complete. We got through 2 beers doing that and didn't take very long. Let's spend all these perk points. There are things we could build with rubber and concrete, but they don't stack as neatly as shells, and I don't want to have big stacks of rubber mats and concrete walls all over the place. And to be honest, I think level 14 is more than enough. There are other ways we can do more power leveling, I'll tell you about those in a minute, but for the minute, let's just spend all these perk points. Now, as we said, we wanted these specific attributes at these specific levels to get these specific skills. What I want is strong back 1, gain 25 to carry weight. Yes please. Next one we want is armourer 1, so we can upgrade any armour we find. Yes please. And the next one is a rifleman. Now, most of the guns we're going to be using in this playthrough are non-automatic rifles, so we're going to take Rifleman 1 and Rifleman 2. So we're now doing 40% more damage with these weapons, and these weapons ignore 15% of the target's armour. That is really rather powerful. Next one we want is Lone Wanderer 1. When adventuring without a companion, you take 15% less damage and your carry weight increases by 50. So between that and strong back, we've just got an extra 75 pounds of carry weight, which is fantastic. The next one we want is extremely important, and is the only reason we put any points into intelligence was to unlock Gun Nut. This lets us upgrade our guns. Well, I should specify, it lets us make the upgrades for our guns. You can find guns with upgrades on them, take the upgrades off and use them to Frankenstein together better guns, or you can just make them yourself. So we'll be taking rank 1 of that, and we'll be taking rank 2 of that. And we had to be level 13 to get Gun Nut rank 2. So that's why we did all this leveling, to get to Gun Nut rank 2. Next one we want is Gunslinger. Non-automatic pistols, such as our trusty 10mm, do 20% more damage. So yeah, we'll take that. And we want another agility one, which is Sneak. Makes us harder to detect. So yes, we're taking one of that. As we notice, Sneak level 2, harder to sneak, harder to detect while sneaking, and no longer trigger floor-based traps. That's things like pressure plates and tripwires. And Sneak 3 makes us immune to enemy mines. So we'll be doing these as soon as we can, but not quite yet. And the last one we want is all the way down here in the charisma tree. It is a local leader. This lets us establish supply lines between workshop settlements. And the way this works is that once you have people in your town, you can go into workshop mode and assign them to make a supply line. If we open the map by pressing M, say for instance we had someone here, we could assign them to Sanctuary, and then they would physically travel between these two locations and the workbenches would be linked. Now this does not let you use these workbenches like ender chests. For instance, you could not put a gun in this workbench and then go to Red Rocket and take it out of the workbench there. But it does let them share resources when building or when using workbenches. So that is really powerful, because as we know, this place has, well, it doesn't have any wood or steel left because we just used it. But it does have all these other resources in huge amounts, and we'll be able to share that with any other settlement. This is extremely important, especially in survival mode when your carry weight is so small. If you can build settlements across the map and link them all together, you can just offload your stuff at any one settlement and then use it to build stuff at any other settlement. Okay, I think the next thing we're going to do is to actually make use of our new perks and upgrade our weapons. Now this is the best weapon we have at the minute, so we're going to upgrade it as much as we can. We'll upgrade the receiver, which is how much damage it does. And this is the best receiver it can have, the advanced receiver. If you look at the list of the ingredients on the right hand side, again, adhesive 9/6 means we have 9 adhesive, we need 6 of them to upgrade this receiver. So adhesive is used in pretty much every single upgrade for weapons and armour, so it's an extremely valuable resource. We're spending 2/3 of our adhesive to upgrade the gun from 18 damage per shot to 37, but it's worth it. Boom, done. Next thing I'm going to want is some better sights. Now ideally this is a modded scope, but it's not very different from scopes you get in the normal game. Now, it says we have everything other than steel, but we can reclaim some steel from the steel shelves we built. If we go into workshop mode and we approach the shelves we built and press scrap, as you see we get 1 steel. It took us 2 to build this shelf and we're getting 1 back. So you get half of your items back. Scrap some of these to get some steel. Now you could of course scrap all these shelves, spend a very long time scrapping all these shelves, and there's probably about 2,000 wooden shelves right there. You could spend a lot of time scrapping all of these and then rebuilding another 1,000 shelves and then scrapping them all again and building another 500 and scrapping them and doing another 250. And so on and so on. You can power level for as long as you want doing that until you do physically run out of wood and steel. But I think level 14 is more than enough. So I think we should have reclaimed enough steel to get the scope on our gun. Yes, we do indeed have enough steel now. And that's the scope I wanted. So now our gun, when we press the target button, we now have a nice zoom in effect with an accurate little pointer. And this also increased the accuracy stat of the gun. That doesn't mean you're better at hip firing, because that comes down to your own player skill. What this accuracy stat on the left hand side is talking about is your accuracy in the VATS targeting system, which we can show you if we just, sorry Codsworth, press Q. Now these numbers are our chance to hit that particular location, And the higher your gun's accuracy, the higher these numbers are going to be. Right, before we leave town, there's something else I need to talk about. We did talk about linking settlements together, but to do that you need settlers, and to attract settlers to your settlements you need things out of the power folder, and specifically this recruitment radio beacon here. We need to carry enough resources with us to build one of these, and as we see it says it requires 1 lightning bolt, which is power. So we're also going to need to carry enough resources to build at least a small generator. So I know how much that takes. I have written it down, and we're going to load up and take that with us. What we need is 4 ceramic. We have 178, that's good. We need to take 4 of these with us. 8 copper, 2 gears, 3 rubber, I think that's more than 3, 14 steel, 2 circuitry, and 2 crystal. Now I'm not seeing crystal listed here, but if we scroll down and examine all the things we have, we can read off in the middle what they break down into. So there should, hopefully, if we're lucky, oh, bingo, 2 crystal in that microscope. Now crystal is extremely valuable and extremely rare, and it's actually quite rare that you find a microscope. So we got lucky this time. We now have everything on our person, which means when we find a settlement we can build 1 small power generator and 1 radio recruitment beacon, get a settler, and link them to this place so we can use all the stuff that's in that workbench to build things at the new place. So now the power leveling is finished, we have everything we need. One last thing we can do before we leave is to assign things to hotkeys, because we're going to start needing it. To hotkey at the bottom of the screen in the middle you'll see Q, makes things favourites. Tap that, brings up this favourite menu. You can either click on the square you want or just tap the number key. So pistol will be on 1, this other pistol will be on 2, this rifle will be on 3. We can also do that with things that are not weapons. For instance, our purify water, I think we'll put that on 0. And I think we'll put stim packs, which are emergency healing things, on 9. Now we will be leaving town and we'll actually start killing things and playing the game. I think this is a good place to leave this episode. It has been an absolute slog, and I know it's been a little bit boring and we've been doing a lot of busy work and doing nothing but building. But this is the Best Start series, it is not the Quick Start series. So in the next episode we'll get into the cave which is underneath the red rocket, and we'll see what's there, and then we'll go on from there. I do hope you come back for that. I hope this episode hasn't bored you into never coming back. Until then, do take very good care of yourself, and I'll talk to you again very soon.